1 week after the awful tragedy where Rob Reiner and his wife passed away, Romy and Jake held a funeral for their parents at a private spot. But right from the start, the event brought a hard-to-believe level of mystery and stress. None of Rob's closest friends, the ones who had supported him for many years, got invited. Many of them got mad and called to ask what was happening, but they only got a cold answer. "My father's funeral is none of your business." Even more surprising was that Rob's adopted daughter, Tracy Reiner, who he had loved a lot and been with through many years of her life, was not there. Rob's 2 kids from his own blood kept saying that Tracy was just an outsider and that getting some inheritance was already plenty for her, so she did not need to come. So besides Tracy, which other well-known people were left out of the funeral, who got really shut out and why? 1. Tracy Reiner, the adopted child who did not get invited. One of the most surprising parts was that Tracy Reiner, the adopted daughter that Rob had loved with all his heart while he was alive, was not at the funeral. Rob adopted her when Tracy was only 7 years old, after he married her mom, Penny Marshall. From those first days, Rob was not just a stepdad, but a strong support, a kind guide helping the young girl through a tough childhood. In their home, Tracy grew up with lots of laughs, stories, and the warmth Rob gave her, like she was really his daughter by blood. Those early years in the Reiner home built the base that shaped who Tracy became as a person. Rob always showed her how to see the world with kindness, how to enjoy art, and how to stay strong even in the tricky world of Hollywood. He was not just a dad, but also a friend, walking with her through happy times and quiet, tough moments. The connection between Tracy and Rob was also tied strongly to art. Tracy went into acting and so on. Dee showed up in many movies directed by either her adoptive dad or her mom, from When Harry Met Sally, directed by Rob, to A League of Their Own, directed by Penny. Each movie, each part was a way for Tracy to feel Rob's love and support, a way for them to go through every work success together. Even after Rob got married again and had 3 more kids, his bond with Tracy did not weaken. She kept seeing Rob as her dad, and he kept seeing her as his daughter, a key part of the family that could not be separated. They went to movie premieres together, hung out with friends and co-workers, and always kept a close connection over the years. On one special time when he opened up about his feelings, Rob told Tracy, "You have always been my pride. No matter how the world changes, you will always be my daughter." Those words made Tracy unable to speak, letting her really feel the love and care from the adoptive dad who had been by her side her whole life. That love was shown not just in words, but in daily things. Rob always listened to Tracy, backed her job choices, and kept her safe from the rough parts of Hollywood. Even when distance or jobs kept them apart, their hearts stayed close. When Rob passed away, Tracy felt the loss in a huge way. A bond that lasted many years suddenly turned into nothing, and she felt like she lost not just a dad, but part of her childhood memories, a friend who had shared every happy and sad moment with her. She cried out through tears, "Dad, I don't know how to live without you here." But when Tracy said she wanted to go to Rob's funeral to say goodbye one last time, she got turned down. In a heartbreaking way, Rob's 2 kids from his blood, Romy and Jake, fully shut out Tracy Reiner. They thought she was an outsider who did not need to be there, and they did not even tell her ahead of time. When she saw her name was not on the list, Tracy called Tachoa at Romy and Jake, her voice shaking but calm. "I just want to know if I can come say goodbye to Dad." That simple, honest question got silence first. Then Romy said coldly, "You are not invited." Jake added, "We've decided, Tracy. You shouldn't come. You've already gotten Dad's money." Those words hit Tracy's heart like a knife. She stood still, her heart breaking apart, the loss feeling twice as bad. Rob had seen her as his real daughter, laughed with her, guided her in art and life. But now, at the last chance to say goodbye to him, she was totally left out of her dad's funeral. And it was not just Tracy. Rob's best friend for many years, Billy Crystal, also did not get to go to the funeral. 2. Billy Crystal, the best friend who was kept out. Billy Crystal and Rob Reiner first met in the mid-1970s when Crystal had a guest spot on All in the Family, the show where Reiner played Mike Meathead Stivic. What looked like a normal meeting back then turned into the start of a friendship that lasted almost 50 years. From those first days, Crystal felt Rob's warmth, smarts, and funny side that he did not see much in other coworkers. After that first work together, they soon became good friends outside of work. Crystal once remembered that after shooting, Reiner said to him, "You and I click really well. Let's stay in touch." And that is what they did. They were not just coworkers, but real friends in life, sharing good times, bad times, and everyday Hollywood stuff. Their friendship got even closer through movie work. Rob Reiner asked Billy Crystal to play big roles in classic movies like This Is Spinal Tap and When Harry Met Sally, where Crystal got to show his skills and who he was. Reiner once said, "No one could do Harry Burns better than Billy. He made the character real and hard to forget." Their friendship was not just about work. At one time, Crystal even moved close to Reiner so they could hang out more, talk, share ideas, and laugh like true friends. They told each other little secrets, stories from behind the scenes, and even worries, like two close souls away from the bright lights. Crystal once called Rob the best friend he ever had in life, someone who could always make him laugh, cheer him up when down, and listen when he needed support. Reiner, for his part, once told Billy, "You make me better. I'm lucky to have you as a friend." Those words showed a friendship deeper than family almost. They also went together to big events and memorials. When Carl Reiner, Rob's dad, passed away, Billy Crystal was one of the first to come and give support, standing by Rob to remember a dear friend and respected dad. Crystal's being there gave Rob a lot of comfort and strength in those hard times. Their friendship got stronger with shared happy moments too. They went to premieres, award shows, and even easy hangouts or quiet dinners. Crystal always talked about those times with a big smile. Rob makes everything more fun. Just him being there makes the world feel better. Over almost 50 years together, the friendship between Billy Crystal and Rob Reiner showed a bond that went past fame, work, or age. It was based on trust, respect, laughs, and even shared sad times. They were not just friends, but like soulmates, sharing life, art, and memories that could not be replaced. Right after the sad and sudden news of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle's deaths came out on the 14th, Billy and his wife Janice went straight to the house in Brentwood, Los Angeles, where police had closed off the area. When they got in, Billy cried hard next to his friend's body, holding Rob tight one last time and saying emotional goodbye words, while Janice helped the rest of the family. Just days later, when the family planned a private funeral, Billy Crystal surprisingly did not get an invite. From leaks in Hollywood, this choice came from Rob and Michelle's two kids left, Jake and Romy Reiner. They were dealing with huge sadness after what happened with their brother Nick and wanted the funeral small, only close family. To stay away from media and nosy people, Jake Reiner, the oldest son, was said to be straight with some friends, saying he needed space to deal with losing both parents and the claims about his brother. Romy, who found the bodies first, also wanted the funeral quiet, without big stars that could make it a show. This shocked and saddened many in the movie world, since Billy Crystal had long been seen as family to the Reiners. A close person said that though Billy was very hurt, he got the special situation and chose to honor Rob by sharing good memories and public words with a small group of friends. 3. Mel Brooks, old age and weak health, worried he might die at the funeral. Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner were stars of American comedy tied by a friendship over 50 years from early TV and theater days. Together, they made The 2,000-Year-Old Man, a classic that any comedy fan remembers. Their friendship was not just work, but a deep soul connection where every laugh and joke showed how well two smart minds fit. Rob Reiner grew up in that world with his dad Carl and dad's close friend Mel Brooks always around. From young, Rob saw funny moments, late-night stories, and big laughs from two men who became legends. Those times shaped Rob into the person he was, a guy who loved art, valued friendship, and connected fully with people he worked with. Slowly, a bond grew between Brooks and Rob, too. They talked, shared work stories, and Brooks became a friend and kind of mentor to Rob through many events and memorials for Carl Reiner. Over time, Rob and Mel sometimes showed up together at awards, memorials, or events for Carl. Mel often went to the Brentwood house for dinner with Rob and family, sharing warm and important times. When Carl Reiner passed away, both Mel Brooks and Rob Reiner went to the memorial events. Brooks stood by Rob, eyes sad but thankful for a lifelong friend. He often told Rob, "You are your dad's living memory, and I'm proud to see it." Those words were not just old talk, but passing the comedy torch between generations. In 2025, when Rob Reiner left the world, Mel Brooks, now 99 and after many hard years and health issues, felt a hidden kind of pain. But age made Brooks stay away. He knew if he went to the funeral, saw Rob and cried, his body could not handle the sadness and shock. This choice made the loss worse, not just losing a friend, but feeling helpless because his body was not strong anymore. Brooks said to himself, "I wish I could hold you one more time, but my body won't let me." 4. Meg Ryan, a grudge from years back. The connection between Meg Ryan and Rob Reiner started great in 1988, when Rob picked her as Sally Albright in When Harry Met Sally. On set, they soon found they got along well. Rob often laughed hard at Meg's quick ideas, while she liked his kind but sharp directing. One afternoon at Katz's Deli, after shooting the famous fake orgasm scene, Rob patted Meg on the shoulder and said, "You just made rom-com history, Meg. Thanks for trusting me." Meg smiled big and said, "No, thank you for letting me be Sally." In the years after, they kept a warm link. Whenever the movie had its 20th, 25th, and 30th anniversaries, Meg, Rob, and Billy Crystal showed up together at events. At the 2019 TCM Classic Film Festival, Rob brought Meg on stage. This is the woman who made the world believe men and women can be friends before love. Meg hugged him and said loud enough for the mic, "You're still my favorite director, Rob." The crowd clapped forever, and everyone thought this friendship would go on always. But behind the happy faces, a little problem had started from that movie. From people close to them, Rob Reiner was never fully okay with one choice Meg made while filming. In the big New Year's Eve scene, Meg Cha said some lines at the end without talking to Rob first. A line about real love that she thought felt more real than the script. Rob just nodded quietly then, but later told Billy Crystal, "She thought she knew the character better than me, the one who wrote it. That hurt." That problem grew slowly over time. When Meg Ryan had hard times in work and life in the 2000s, Rob did not say bad things publicly, but privately told some friends he felt Meg went against the movie's feel by doing more serious roles, away from the happy Sally he made. Rob kept those feelings secret for years, still smiling and talking nice when he saw Meg at events. He did not want to hurt her or hurt the movie's name. Billy Crystal was one of the few who knew. Once at a dinner for the movie, Billy tried to fix it. "Rob, Meg always says you're the one who changed her career." Rob just smiled lightly and said, "I know, but some things don't need words." Meg never knew Rob had that quiet anger for 30 years. After Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle passed away suddenly, Meg Ryan right away posted a touching tribute on Instagram with an old photo of them dancing on set. She wrote, "Thank you for believing in true love and fairy tales and laughter." But days later, Meg got a nice note from the Reiner family's helper saying the funeral was only for close family and a few very good friends. The real reason from a family close source was from Romy Reiner, Rob's oldest daughter. In the mess of sadness, Romy said straight to the funeral planner, "My dad did not really like Meg Ryan as much as people think. He kept that feeling until the end, but he told me once she changed the key line in the movie without asking. He felt disrespected." Romy, full of huge sadness, chose to follow her dad's quiet wish by not inviting Meg. After Meg kept saying only nice things, never knowing one changed line from 1989 had made a gap that could not be fixed. And besides Meg, there was another actress who had issues with Rob Reiner, Kiefer Sutherland. 5. Albert Brooks. Worry that hidden truths would come out. Few friendships last and are as deep as the one between Rob Reiner and Albert Brooks. They met when they were just 14 in a drama class at Beverly Hills High School. Those two teens, full of big dreams and fun laughs, clicked right away like they were meant to be friends, not knowing it would last over 60 years. From the start, they shared it all. Fun jokes on school grounds, little happy and sad teen moments, and art dreams full of hope. Their friendship did not go away with age, but grew with their work lives. Rob Reiner became a top director and actor, while Albert Brooks made his way as a comedian, writer, and actor. Even when jobs took them different ways, their bond stayed strong. They kept talking, sharing, and laughing like the kids they were, even with grown-up pressures and different wins. They only worked together once on the movie The Muse in 1999, but that did not push them apart. Instead, the little work showed how much they respected and understood each other. Rob once asked Brooks to be in When Harry Met Sally, but Brooks said no to keep his own style, a choice Reiner got and respected. This freedom, own path, and respect became what made their friendship special, more than any work link. The best part of their bond was in the 2023 documentary Albert Brooks, Defending My Life, directed by Rob Reiner. In the movie, the two old friends sit and talk, remember things, laugh, and show respect. Reiner said no one made comedy energy like Brooks. Brooks called Reiner his longest and most important friend in life. In one touching part, Brooks looks at Reiner and says, "Rob, you've always got me better than anyone." Reiner smiles and says, "And I'll always be here for your laughs." The movie was not just about Brooks, but proof of a friendship over 50 years that went past work. Even as their jobs got long and hard, they kept a simple closeness, like two teens leaving drama class. They talked about old school chairs, young jokes, and dreams not done. In those times, time stopped. When Rob Reiner passed away in 2025, Albert Brooks could not hide his big pain. He could not believe the friend from teen years was gone. In shock and sadness, he cried, "Rob, you left me. How do I laugh now?" This was not just losing someone, but losing a friendship that lived and laughed a whole life. But even worse was that at Rob's funeral, Albert Brooks, the close friend of over 60 years, did not get invited. The truth hit Brooks hard. He called Reiner's two kids, Romy and Jake, hoping to at least go say goodbye to his best friend. But the kids were cold and firm. "You are not invited." Albert Brooks, so close to Rob Reiner for years, was shocked. In his mind, the funeral was the last chance to honor a dear friend. But now all doors closed. He could not get how a deep bond from many projects and daily memories could end so coldly. From inside rumors, the reason was Romy's worry that Brooks might say hidden stories about how the two kids treated their parents bad. Old secrets, years of family tension, and bad moments, if out, could make the funeral a big fight instead of quiet remember. Romy wanted full control, scared that Albert's closeness to Rob would make him too emotional to hide those bad truths. In Romy's view, the funeral had to be perfect, and just as the siblings planned, no big feelings or details that could upset people. Even knowing shutting out Albert Brooks was mean and hurtful, she stuck to it. And it was not just Albert. Another person Romy fully left out was Mel Brooks, the old friend of her grandpa Carl Reiner and Rob. 6. Kiefer Sutherland, the guy who did something Rob saw as unforgivable. The link between Kiefer Sutherland and Rob Reiner started in a big way in 1985 when young Kiefer, only 18 and still trying to make it, went to Oddity, on for Stand By Me. Rob Reiner saw right away the strong fire in Kiefer's eyes and picked him as Ace Merrill, no doubt. After the audition, Rob took Kiefer aside and said, "You've got fire, Kiefer. Don't let anyone put it out." Kiefer later said that one line changed his life, making Rob a mentor he looked up to. They worked together again in A Few Good Men in 1992, where Kiefer played the strict Lieutenant Kendrick. On set, Rob often helped Kiefer one-on-one, especially in hard scenes with Jack Nicholson. One day, after nailing the famous "You Can't Handle the Truth" scene on first try, Rob whispered to Kiefer, "We got gold today, friend. Let's get a beer to celebrate." Kiefer laughed big and said, "Only if you lead, teacher." That moment became a favorite Kiefer told with feeling later. Over years, even if they did not see each other much, Kiefer always thanked Rob publicly. In talks, he called Rob one of the nicest guys he worked with, saying those two movies built his career. When a special documentary about Rob came on CBS late December 2025, Kiefer spoke with shaky voice. Rob wasn't just a director. He believed in kids like me when others didn't. But behind the public respect, a little secret had been there almost 40 years. From people close to the Reiner family, Rob was bothered a lot by something on the Stand By Me set that he never fully forgave Kiefer for. During the last chase scene, Kiefer added a more rough move not in the script. He threw a real beer bottle at the kids instead of faking it. The bottle broke and almost hurt River Phoenix's hand a bit. Rob stopped filming right away and yelled, "We're making a movie about being a kid, not some cheap action flick." Kiefer said sorry fast, and the scene stayed for its real feel. But Rob kept feeling disrespected. Years later, he told Billy Crystal privately, "Kiefer is super talented, but sometimes he gets too excited. I was scared he would hurt the kids." Rob never said it to Kiefer face to face. He just kept some distance after filming, even while praising him publicly. For this, Kiefer did not get invited. Romy Reiner, Rob's oldest daughter, in huge sadness, told the funeral planner straight, "My dad never fully forgave Kiefer for what happened on Stand By Me set. He told me he was scared Kiefer almost really hurt River, and he did not want someone who caused that fear at his funeral." 7. Barry Berkowitz, when a simple nice word became bad. Barry Berkowitz was not just a camera guy who worked often with Rob on things like Being Charlie, LBJ, Shock and Awe, and Albert Brooks, Defending My Life, but the Reiner family saw him as one of them. Every time Barry came to Los Angeles, Rob would say, "Don't stay in a hotel, Barry. My house has food, good toilet paper, and family waiting." Barry would laugh and say, "Okay, but I'm bringing good wine this time." Just weeks before the tragedy in November 2025, Barry stayed at the Reiner home 5 nights for a movie premiere prep. He later called it one big happy time, long family dinners, loud basketball on TV, laughs as the dog ran around the living room. A feel so warm it seemed everything was okay. Nick Reiner, who seemed calm and nice then, acted like the perfect son, taking trash out without asking, washing dishes, pouring water for guests. In that time, Barry made a mistake he never thought would matter. He looked at Nick, smiled, and gave a simple compliment. It was innocent, no plan, just kind, but strong enough to start bad feelings. Barry did not know that to Romy and Jake, that nice word was not okay. After the tragedy, when all fell apart and Nick was called murderer, the memory of Barry changed. In their eyes, he was not the old family friend, but the guy who praised the one who killed their parents in their home. Romy told friends she could not stand thinking of Barry standing there once proud of Nick. He praised him. She said it over and over like a final judgment. He praised him, and now people want me to let him come mourn my parents. In the mess and heavy pain of mourning, Romy said clear to the funeral planner. No maybe, no talk. Barry is not invited. The reason was not old ties, but one fact. He was the guy who said nice things about Nick. To Romy, that was too much. Jake agreed fully, even stronger, saying Barry there would be mean, a bad reminder of when Nick was seen with hope. They wanted the funeral to cut off fully from that name, from every memory that made people think he could be okay. And so Barry was taken off the list, not allowed in. Not for doing bad, but for judging a bad person wrong when no one could accept that anymore. Thinking back on Rob Reiner's funeral, you can't ignore the close friends and old co-workers who were not there for that last moment. Even with years of shared past, from Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal to other long partners, their not being there left a sad, empty feel. A sense of nothing and heartbreak was in the air, like a whole time of memories, laughs, and friendship stopped at the funeral. Even if they were not there, the memory of Rob Reiner and his deep bonds stays strong in their hearts and for fans. The story of those left out makes you think about friendship value, respect, and how final goodbyes can't be replaced. Sadness mixed with sorry shows the big effect Reiner had, not just in movies, but in lives he touched. We want to thank everyone who loved Rob Reiner, worked with him, and shared life moments with him. Have you felt the pain and empty of not saying goodbye to someone important? Please share your thoughts and memories in comments so Rob Reiner's story does not stop in memory but lives on through what we share.